Okay, today, this episode is going to be brought to you by the letter I for inspiration. That's what I decided was going to be today's episode. Let's start, because NSinR8 is obviously inspired by anime. I'm going to start with anime. It's not going to stay on anime as my inspirations, but I'm definitely going to start there. For starting with the most obvious, my favorite anime is Bleach. Couldn't imagine I like Bleach or nothing. I love the art style. I love the way it. I love the comics art style specifically. I don't know if you can see all the way up to the top of the bookshelf where I have a few volumes, but I love the comics art style. I love the manga. I don't like calling it manga because manga is just the Japanese word for comics in this sense. So, it's like, differentiating it just kind of, I don't know, it just feels weird. Naruto, and I love the storytelling, even though it is a bit of a soap opera, but I love the storytelling. His clarity can be used more. That's why I think his Taikubo has better clarity than the creator of Bleach has better clarity than Naruto's artist does. I don't think he has a good sense of clarity. His art is good. It's just it sometimes loses. It becomes muddy because he goes into too much detail in one place and too little in another, and it just starts messing up the way it looks. If you've ever read any Naruto chapter, you'd understand completely. Am I out of the frame? That would be so stupid. The next one, by the way, I have a booklet. I would like to have one like sitting over here-ish, and then I could just look over here and have it like right here-ish, off screen. But that would actually mean you'd have to actually read me over my chicken scratch. So my chicken scratch is not bad enough. Good enough for me. All right, the next on the list is probably one of my favorites. It was an inspiration for NSinR8, and it was really one of the big ones in Bleach, anime-wise, was Dragon Ball Z. I don't think in my generation, it is rare to find anyone I know that has never watched Dragon Ball Z. It is inspired. It is such a known quantity in my generation. I don't know how, but I guess it was just so popular. So Dragon Ball Z is just a given within my generation of anime enthusiasts. And Full Metal. That is a good show. That is storytelling too. That is amazing storytelling, great characterization, a really neat, issue to be explored, but they don't beat you over the head with it like some series do. It's a very subtle, well thought out story with a very well thought out lesson to be taught. Now, as far as other YouTubers, Trying Humans IntroducingEmy. She's a webcomic artist. I need to catch up with her webcomic, but I love her art. It's so good. I found her through Zisto, his fan art contest for the t-shirt, and the one he uses now, I think his banner is her art. And I was like, that's some really neat art, and I looked on her DeviantArt page, and I was like, that is some amazing art. She's a great artist. Like, she's doing her own webcomic. It's just so inspirational. I was like, and she's making money off of it. Trying Human is her job, basically. And that's amazing. I wish I could do that. I'm working on it. I say I wish. I'm working on it. And, of course, in light of that, I'm thinking, looking up the 100 Days of Drawing Comics, I found Kevin Cross and his Monkey Mod Friend show. And that's not so much art inspiration as much as, just getting out there and doing it. He in IntroducingEmy just taught me, do it. Like Shia LaBeouf, who's way down there on the list of people who just, you know, make you... Even though he's a joke mostly now, but that video still has some truth to it. Just do it! And book series? I couldn't imagine. I don't know if you can see it. But... let me show you what I mean by book series. Hi, Finegorn. Treebeard, please don't follow me. Wheel of Time. Don't push the other one back. Wheel of Time. 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 All of them, including the prequel. That means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-ish books. The entire series. I really like that series, and it's inspired my storytelling quite a bit. It's a great series. It's a great high fantasy novel. If you like high fantasy, which is, you know, Lord of the Rings, but you don't want... and they're walking... and okay, I'm not gonna... okay, yeah, actually you do. Because this area right here, like in the middle, it starts to drag. I'm not gonna lie. But it never gets as bad as the Dead Marshes in Lord of the Rings. If you ever dealt with Lord of the Rings, you know what I'm talking about. If you ever actually read Lord of the Rings, the Dead Marshes drag on forever. I stalled out when I first read Lord of the Rings at the Dead Marshes, and it killed me. That's it as far as books are concerned. Again, I mean, Wheel of Time. If I'm inspired by Wheel of Time, you better believe I'm going to be inspired by Lord of the Rings. I also have a few others, but they're not quite as strong as Wheel of Time. And now on to comic creators in general, like American comic creators. And I recently heard through Kevin Cross about... I mean, already knew who he was. Jack Kirby, if you've ever heard of him, you owe modern comics to Jack Kirby. No question about that. Modern comics, the wham, bam, pow kind of comics. Because before him, for all intents and purposes, a lot of comics have become kind of stale. Let's just... like, you remember old Superman comics? Have you ever seen them where they're really diagrammic and really kind of like, he's doing this move. I must explain it in the text and draw it really plainly out, almost like a diagram, as to what action he's doing. It was really bad, but that's partially because our earlier comics were really muddy. Understandable, they were really muddy. Because they needed to find clarity in their comics. But Jack Kirby was able to add dynamic action within the comic while still maintaining clarity, something I have trouble with. Most comic artists do. You have to learn clarity. Being able to translate their art, what's actually happening dynamically, but still also keep the reader understanding what's happening. Because sometimes things can be really confusing. That's sort of the reason why we have things, the rules like the 180 rule. You can't, there's an invisible line beside two characters. I break it rarely, and usually I break it intentionally because you want to have them, you want to confuse people sometimes. You do want to confuse, you do want to lose clarity because it confuses people. You know, the old saying, you know, learn the words I can't speak them. Learn the rules so you can break them. That's the idea. You can break it if you want to confuse the reader because the character's confused or something. I think I saw it recently in NCIS. Actually, Gibbs was talking to somebody and he was going back and forth, and they started. And as soon as the guy who was guilty started getting confused, they started breaking the 180 rule to kind of make it obvious that the guy was losing. It's cool. So it worked well in that sense. I really like that. Yeah, that was a really good way of using the 180 rule in a, you know, kind of rule breaking sense. But now we're talking about NCIS when I say Jack Kirby, but you know, clarity. He learned how to make dynamic, powerful scenes with clarity, and that's something that a lot of people haven't been able to master. Another one, I haven't yet been able to get his books. Cause I don't know if you can see all these making and no, not that, but I have 3 books by Scott MacLeod. Making comics, reinventing comics, and understanding comics. I actually have them in order here. It's understanding, reinventing, making, and that was just something I picked up at that Dummies book was something I picked up at half price, I think. I don't think it'll help all that much. I mean, what you already know is kind of. I skimmed through it, and it's just like I already know most of that stuff. Stuff you pick up on when you're in this generation. But no, as I was saying about Scott MacLeod, he pointed me to Will Eisner. Will Eisner, that was terrible. But yeah, he pointed me to Will Eisner, and Will Eisner, man, he's inspired a lot of people. I think he did the Spirit comic, and quite a few others, but you'd have to see it. You have to look him up personally, but he has a few books on comic creation, like anatomy for comic artists, all that stuff. It's really neat. I would love to get more into his work. And now into just people that inspire me, not because of what they're doing, but more because of how they're doing and how their attitude on life and such. The first is, oddly enough, Kylie Hinky, or Hanky, or I don't remember. I think she said it around with Spanky, so Hanky? Kylie Hanky? She is known online as Sonic Rocks My Socks. Yes. Though, if you know her, if you've been around DeviantArt for long enough, you know who she is. She's actually a really good artist. But you know who she is. And she went from having, being overweight, having been in an abusive relationship, to being this overwhelming beacon of positivity in just a couple of years, and it's amazing to watch. And so she's so inspiring, and she's got so much energy in that sense of, being happy and optimistic now after all the things she's been through. And it's just so inspiring to watch her do that. And now after people who've inspired me in certain just like videos and stuff. I already talked about that video, didn't I? Just do it. And of course, there's also when I was still doing Insanity, I'm doing a different workout now. But when I was still doing Insanity, there's always dig deeper, Mr. Sean T. yelling at you to dig deeper and work harder. But yeah, I'm trying to do my own workout. I'm not one to get ripped in 30 days. I'm like, I don't think 30 days. I don't think it'll work for 30 days. I don't think I'll get ripped in 30 days. I'm a bit of a slow burn kind of guy. Anyways, I don't do things fast. And I know I don't do things fast. So, that's for my workout. I mean, look at 100 days of drawing comics. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it to win it. Long haul kind of stuff. I'm not gonna, as the old saying goes, oh, I forgot the term. I feel stupid now. another one. It goes with the rabbit in the hair. Rabbit in the hair. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The tortoise in the hair. Well, you know. I think you know it. I think you're all thinking exactly what I'm thinking. It's just I can't think of it right now. It actually supposedly there's a finished one that says and tell talent and luck take its place, and I'm like, really? No, I like the original better. But now it's gonna bug me all day until I figure it out. But I think that's it, guys. I figured out whether by the time I put my I pick my phone up, I will keep it running. But I think that's it. Patience, something impatient.